Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. My name is Jesse Dollemore. My voice is not the same as David's. Hell, my voice is not the same as mine normally. I am quite under the weather, and as I get through the show today, it's just a free fall right now. So thanks for joining me, and bear with me. Listen, sycophancy has always been an element of those surrounding Donald Trump. The cult-like nature of his followers is something that it just can't be ignored. It is self-evident that they revere this man for some. They revere him for what he can bring to them relative to their conservative agenda items, their fever dream of banning abortion and banning gay marriage and bringing the United States back to the 1940s when black people weren't equal and racism was practiced under color of law. This is the America that they want. But the sycophants really do want to please Donald Trump. And the more power you have, it seems, the more bootlicky you are. Enter Andy Ogles, a Tennessee congressperson, who is now attempting, remarkable, to amend the Constitution, to add an amendment to the Constitution, number 28 it will be. We haven't amended the Constitution since 1992, when Congress added the amendment that any pay raise that Congress votes for itself can't take effect until the next Congress. So the people in the House aren't actually voting for a pay raise for themselves. They're voting for a pay raise for the next after the election. Well, Andy Ogles wants to add another one. Here's from his website. Representative Andy Ogles proposes amending the 22nd Amendment to allow Trump to serve a third term. If there was ever an action that cried for attention from Donald Trump, this is it. Now, the first thing that I want to play for you is Donald Trump. What predicated this? This is not new. Donald Trump has been banging on about trying to get a third term or hinting that he's going to be in office for longer than 2 terms for a long time. This is a very brief mashup put together by the Washington Post over 5 years ago of different moments where Donald Trump hinted at this.
Under the normal rules, I'll be out in 2024, so we may have to go for an extra term.
We're going to have to extend my second term because 2026, I'm going to have to extend it for a couple of years. I don't think any of you would have a problem with that.
I was going to joke, General, and say at least for 10 or 14 years, but we would cause bedlam if I said it. We go to 20, we go to 24. Did you see it? Then it says 28, 32, 36, 40, 44. He's now president for life. And look, he was able to do that. I think it's great. Maybe we'll have to give that a shot someday. So we have 16, we have 20, we have 24. And you know what's very interesting, though? There are really people out there think I'm not leaving. Can you believe it? Hey, maybe that is a good idea. Let's think.
You see all those lovers of and defenders of the Constitution there? The same people who pull out of their pocket their little pocket constitution that's in tatters just to prove how much they look at it and read it, and people who talk about raising their right hand like I did when I served in the United States Marine Corps to serve and protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. These types of people cheered that on. The same type of people who cheered on him saying that he has every right to terminate all articles and rules and regulations up to and including the Constitution. They cheered him on. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that was just a joke. That was just pre-election. But he's talked about this since he's been reelected, which is what I want to talk about this for. Because this is one, it's self-evident suck-uppery. That's what it is. It's absolutely just kiss-assery on the part of Andy Ogles to Donald Trump. But it's also signaling to the Republicans, get this done. Amend the Constitution so I can run again. And that's if he does it just legally and doesn't just try to stick around through some dictatorial power grab. Here, is reporting on him after the election, signaling to Republicans that he wants to have another term.
New reporting now about President-elect Trump's meeting with House Republicans happening right now. He apparently told them, quote, "I suspect I won't be running again unless you say he's so good we've got to figure something else out." Those comments ahead of his meeting with President Biden at the White House next hour.
Yeah. So what happened? Andy Ogles sprang into action, sprang from his prostrated position, kissing Donald Trump's ass, brown-nosing Donald Trump, lapping at the boots of Donald Trump to show that he is a worshiper and a loyal subject. And he ran to his office and drafted this resolution. Resolved by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, 2/3 of each house concurring therein, that the following article is proposed as an amendment to the Constitution of the United States, which shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of the Constitution when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states within 7 years after the date of its submission for ratification. That's like boilerplate language that you apply when you write an amendment to the Constitution. And here is the article that will be the 28th Amendment if Republicans have their way. No person shall be elected to the office of president more than 3 times, nor be elected to any additional term after being elected to 2 consecutive terms. And no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. And here, if you think this is a joke, if this is just a waste of time, here is Andy Ogles on with Maria Bartiromo explaining that he believes there's overwhelming support to amend the Constitution to give Donald Trump a 3rd term.
You have introduced a resolution to amend the Constitution to allow President Trump to serve a 3rd term as long as they did not serve 2 consecutive full terms. Tell us about that.
Well, there's certain circumstances in history that are unique. So twice in American history have you had a president serve 2 non-consecutive terms. That would be Grover Cleveland and then, of course, President Donald Trump. And so my bill would amend the Constitution. It, of course, has to go through the ratification process, but it would allow him to serve a 3rd term.
And what kind of a response have you gotten from your colleagues on this resolution?
Well, to be honest with you, President Trump won the battleground states and the popular vote because the grassroots engaged in the election, and they are absolutely excited about the possibility. And at the end of the day, if this were ratified, the American people get to choose whether or not he has a 3rd term. But overwhelmingly, it's been supported. We'll see what happens next.
My guess would be this isn't going anywhere. The hurdles that need to be met, the requirements that need to be met relative to the process of amending the Constitution are pretty difficult. That's why over the course of our 250 years since the Declaration of Independence, since 1789, when the Constitution was ratified, I believe that's the year, it's only been amended 17 times. I'm not counting the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. It's difficult. Again, my name is Jesse Dollemore. I would love it if you would join me over on my channel, The Dollemore Daily. It's actually just my name, Jesse Dollemore. You can subscribe over there. If you're into podcasts, I host a pretty great one with my co-host, Brittany Page. A lot less buttoned up, if you will, than YouTube. We invite you, and we think you'd have a good time. Anyway, thanks a lot.
Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, The Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order the Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me the Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.